Mm-hmm.
But we have a really good guest, and I'm not sure if I see him up here. Let me just double check.
Yeah, I don't see the guests yet.
Yeah, I don't see Dave yet. We have Dave Anderson, so um, oh, there he is.
Hey, Dave, how's it going?
Dave, how you doing? Um, yeah, we got a great show lined up for this one. We had a conversation with Dave the other day, and he had a lot of good gems there for us. So we're gonna bring him up.
What's up, bro?
Bro, what's happening? Welcome in, brother. There he is. Let's bring him up.
Hey.
Hey, what's
Hey,
going
how's it
on? How
going,
are you?
man? How you feeling?
Shoot, man. Feel wonderful, man. How y'all fellas doing tonight?
We're
Doing
doing
good,
good.
feeling good.
Good,
Life is
good.
good.
That's what I like to hear.
Yeah.
Well,
So, what
thank
are
you
you
for.
doing? What's been new with you? How was your weekend?
Oh man, weekend was good, man. Just working. Just finished writing my chapter in this new book I'm doing with Master P, which I'm really excited about. And aside from that, just touring, being a father, being a husband, being a business owner. I'm just working, man.
Yeah, a little bit of everything going
A
on.
little bit, a little bit. I'm a busy guy, unfortunately.
So, for the people that don't know who you are,
hmm
we kind of just want to get like, give us your backstory. Where you're from, where you grew up,
Yeah.
where your journey began, how it began.
Wow. Let's see. Typical everyday, black kid. Daddy's a cop, mommy's a teacher. Um, Grew up in Philly. Went to the worst high school in America. Got a 725 on my SATs. Even still with that, I'm still a Mensa member. So go figure. Um, just started my career in entertainment and broadcasting, things of that nature. Did that for about 3 decades, retired, and started focusing on building my own businesses because the entertainment industry was starting to limit what I could do. And I'm a person who likes to call his own shots. And so I decided to make some different life changes. And that has worked out very, very well for me and the companies that I own and my business partners. And right now I'm the father to an adult child, and then a child who is on the autism spectrum, who we homeschool. And so I'm extremely just grateful and happy to be here. I'm not perfect, but I'm me. And for me, that's important. And even through all of that, and I'm really trying to condense 46 years into 30 seconds. I wound up homeless, got really depressed, ate my feelings, ballooned up to 561 pounds, teetered around with getting sleep for years. And then finally, on the 6th year, the doctor sat me down and was like, listen, you doing this or not? And I was like, I guess we're doing it. And so the only regret I have is that I didn't do it sooner, because it opened up so many other lifestyle things for me that I never thought I'd be doing. Kempo, Krav Maga, kickboxing, all the things I can break your neck with my two hands are really helpful. And aside from that, being able to outrun my 9-year old, which is insane for me. So I'm extremely happy to be here, man. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, thank you for coming. We appreciate your time tonight.
Yeah, no problem, man. I appreciate the story. Like I did not know because I remember we had the chat earlier
hmm
this week or last week. I did not know that you gotten through so many difficult things and
Yeah.
struggled with so many different situations. Do you think that built character for you to be able to be who you are today?
Um, I think anytime you don't like, how they say, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. I do believe that's true to a certain extent. I also think that there's a part of me that wants to shove it down your throat that you didn't beat me, that you didn't break me,
Mm,
that whatever you tried to throw at me, I'm still here and you can't stop something that whose time has come, that I'm empowered. And sometimes like being whatever you would consider successful is sometimes means that you can take your foot off the gas for a little bit. And then people can think, oh, well, now's my chance to come in and try and wreck shop. And it's just like, oh, you don't realize that I'm a killer. So now I got to
mm,
get up. Now, you ever see that first Mortal Kombat, like the original one, right? The whole time, Goro got 4 arms. He's 8'5". He's 637 pounds. And you know what he's doing? He got a bunch of really, really hot women feeding him grapes. He got 4 arms. He got 4 arms. He got hot women feeding him grapes because everybody else is scrambling. But every once in a while, somebody want to throw something at the champ, and the champ got to get off his throne and start grabbing people with the 2 arms and then beating their head in with the other 2. And so for me, I realized that part of me I can't let that part ever get stagnant. The part that says, I don't have to, but I will pull this trigger if I need to. Like, that drives me. Being counted out has driven me. Being homeless, being in an industry where they love you one minute and hate you the next, has taught me to never listen to my applause or listen to my boos. I have to listen to, my relationship with God, my relationship with my family, and most importantly, what feels good to me in that moment, what feels most authentic, because I think we're constantly evolving, we're learning, we're improving on our mistakes, we are growing the ways that we need to grow. And I think overall the best thing I can do is continue to move forward, learn, and then find new ways to kick ass, because there's always another level.
So
I like that.
you mentioned, when you use air quotes, you use the word successful.
Right.
What do you define as successful? How do you define that for yourself?
What time do you have to get up in the morning?
I get up at 4:30 every day.
Why?
Because I have to get up for work.
Yeah.
And I need to make sure I'm up there and I work on time.
Right. Success for me is never having to worry about what time you get up. That's it. I work from my home. If I'm leaving my house, it's because I'm speaking somewhere, I'm doing some type of press run. To me, success is, I've never missed any of my oldest kids' volleyball games, art exhibits, photography exhibits. I was able to move her into her dorm, into her apartment, into her new home, like, without having to ask somebody to take off. If my wife got pregnant with my now 9-year-old, I never missed an appointment except for one. And that was just because I just could not miss the thing I was doing. But other than that, I was always there. I didn't have to have anybody, tape that recital for me with your phone. I was there. Like, being able to not have to ask another grown adult for permission to use your own time is success to me, regardless of any type of, financial windfall. Because the truth of the matter is, you'll see these gurus online, and what they don't tell you is, yeah, they are millionaires. And I understand what that is, right, from a real place. But what they don't tell you about being a millionaire is, if you're really an entrepreneur, you're the last one to get paid, right? It's one thing to have to worry about one family, but what do you do when you have to worry about 300 who are depending on you to feed them? What does that look like? What does that mean for you as an owner? What kind of mental health does that take? So being successful to me is making sure that everybody I'm dealing with has a full belly, has a warm heart, has a relaxed, peaceful mind, and there's never a situation where I have to worry about more month at the end of the money. But money is at the bottom of that list. The top of that list is controlling my time, controlling my universe, regardless of what anybody does or says.
Do you feel like at any point that you don't have control over certain things, and like, how do you deal with that?
Yeah. This is. I'm not gonna cry. All right. So I want to give me 1 second. I'll show you something. Right. So this is my brother Aaron. Right. My brother had a heart issue. He had a valve replaced in 21. In 22, I'm just finishing a workout. I'm sitting in the sauna, sweating out impurities, about to get my protein shake that I ordered, and I get a call like, yo, we're medevacing Aaron over to Jefferson Hospital. And I said, you're doing what? To where? And they get him in there, and he's stable, and then he's out of ICU, and then they put him back in ICU. And then maybe about 2-3 weeks later, there's a team of specialists standing outside of his room, and I'm listening to them talk. And they say, well, he needs a new liver, and we got to do this, that, and the third. I'm like, okay, listen, okay. Couple things. Number one, I read medical journals for fun, so I know how this goes. If he needs a liver, take a piece of mine. He's my brother. Like he's my brother. And they're like, yeah, you know how your wife is a twin, and I'm like, yeah. They're like, well, even identical twins don't always match up, and it would take weeks of testing, even if you guys were a perfect genetic match. He doesn't have that time. And I said, okay, fine. Liver's off the table. Fine. Who do I need to call? Who do I need to pay? I got money. Point out the specialist. Like, let's fly him in. It's like, don't play with me. Like, chop, chop, chop. Let's go. And they're like, we've got like the best minds here. We're consulting with people over here, and we're talking to this people. And there was literally an army of medical professionals, you know. And what I learned as far as control goes, when God wants to call somebody home, or when God has something, all the genius in the world don't mean nothing. All the money in the world don't mean nothing. All the will and the effort in being there and getting yourself in a phenomenal shape don't mean nothing. He wanted my brother home for whatever reason, and he got him. And to me, it was devastating. I did not run any of my businesses for a good 6 to 8 months. I completely stepped back because mentally, I don't know if you guys have siblings, right? I have a brother, one brother, and we have a shared experience. And it's like, you are the only two people who speak this language, and one of you dies. That means nobody else on earth speaks that language. Do you know what it's like having a language in your head and your heart that nobody else understands? Like, it's devastating. And then he has children, so I basically went from having 2 children to 5. And his son, his only son, looks just like him, but he has like this big long set of hair, and he's out in California. And I decided to FaceTime him just to check on him, which is a normal thing you do after your brother dies. You check on his kids. So I FaceTime him, and when he answered the FaceTime, all I saw was my brother, because he shaved his head just like my brother. His facial hair is growing out just like my brother, and I lost it. I was like, I love you. I can't talk to you. Like, I gotta go. I did not have I didn't have any control over my emotions. I didn't have any control over my rational mind. I couldn't really make normal everyday decisions, and I didn't know how to process that. I'm the master of my domain. I'm used to, like, this is how it's going to go. Like, it is what it is. And if not, I'm just going to pivot and move to the next thing. I can't pivot from my brother's death and move to the next thing, because my brother's not moving to that next thing with me. And then all those plans I had for us, like, my brother was a cop. And so the plan was in 2023, maybe 2024, we were going to start a private security firm. And he was just going to roll with me when I did speaking engagements. And then his retired cop buddies was going to, run a security company. Like, we had plans, and none of those came to fruition because he died, and I wasn't prepared for that. So how do I deal with it? Therapy was a huge part of that. I'm still looking into new grief counseling, because grief is a process. But
Yes.
other than that, like, professionally, I'm not married to anything. Like, I can blow up a business. I'm not one of these entrepreneurs who gets on TikTok and says, "Oh, my business is my baby." No, it's my business. I can shutter it, sell it for parts, not move. I have bought into businesses that have failed. I bought into businesses that have been ripped off. Like, all of that stuff, I don't care. But, my heart, yeah, no, that's a lot to come back from. But even then, like, I really started digging into my health, because the other part of that is I have an almost 80-year-old mother, and I don't want her to be a childless mother. So I'm really like tuned into my health and tuned into what my body is doing. Right? If I get a hangnail, I'm going to the doctor. So, but that's how I deal with things that are beyond my control. You know?
Okay. So it's this idea of you surrender and accept that you can't change some of these things, in acceptance of this is something I have to process,
Yeah.
right?
Like, there's no way. Like, there's nothing else to do. You've got to deal with it. Like, I can do a lot, bro. I promise you,
Hmm.
I can do a lot. But I have not mastered resurrecting the dead, and I don't even want to try if I could. I think sometimes we think in our minds, just humans generally speaking, think that we're the star of the movie, right? Until the star of the movie dies. And now you got to carry the franchise. And does the franchise get better with you, or does it die with you? And so I realized really quickly this whole time, all these awards, this, that, and third. Hell, I just got a Stellar Award a couple of weeks ago. All of a sudden, I'm not the guy. The
Mm-hmm.
guy behind me, the guy who's like, go get him, Dave. He was the guy. I was his sidekick. I might be a captain of industry to you, but to him, I'm his kid brother. And okay, now the kid brother is now the patriarch. Now I got to be that guy.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, and I literally called my mom one day and I was like, yo, Mom, I thought I don't know how to do this. How do I do this? I don't. And she's like, yo, you were left with absolutely everything that you needed. You know what to do. Just, do what you do your way. Don't be him. Be who he wanted you to be, which is the best version of you. And so there's that. Now, can we get off the sappy stuff for a minute? Because I'm not going to cry. You can try to cry. I ain't going to cry.
You know what? I've accepted that it's okay sometimes just to enjoy life for what it is. So
Yeah.
I'm not gonna make you cry. I'm not gonna pry. But I will say this. It takes tremendous amount of effort and strength from you.
Mm.
Uh,
Yeah, no.
and that's from another man to another man.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
be proud of the fact of what work you've put in and who you've become from that.
Oh, yeah.
Because I will say this, when you say that aspect of being yourself,
Mm-hmm.
that identity is a big picture because uh, the role your brother probably played in your life influenced parts of the identity you are today.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
Right. And just coming in fruition and putting that into your children, putting that into his kids, putting that into your mother, right? Is allowing her to still exist or have the experience of having both sons there.
Right. Listen, like there's certain things like, listen, we grew up in the hood, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so we had at Thanksgiving, we had the cranberry sauce, that came in the can, had the lines already in it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm coming home, my brother's coming from, doing cop stuff. And my mother says, hey, you know what? I made compote. So me and my brother like, what the is compote? What have you done to my cranberry sauce? It's like,
Mm-hmm.
my mom's, she's retired. So now she's Martha Stewarting shit, And so
Mm-hmm.
it's like those types
That's
of
funny.
things, you just like, to have those looks and whatnot. Like even at my brother's funeral, there were things that were happening. And I looked at his partner, I looked at some of his cop buddies, I looked at my family, and we were all like, Aaron's like, yo, this is some, like, nah.
Yeah, just
But
disbelief.
yeah, just disbelief. It's like, yo, this is insane. And like, there's certain things that were happening and people were saying certain stuff. And we're like, my brother would be like, if y'all don't knock this off, my brother's the type of person to tell women to man up. Like, he didn't want anybody doting over him. He didn't want nobody giving him no applause. He was not in the spotlight. That's why he loved, like, watching me perform and watching me go here. Like, I would call him one day and I'd be like, yo, I just killed the Breakfast Club. He'd be like, again?
Mm-hmm.
I was like, well, yeah. Call me when you're on CNN. Click. And I'd be like, and I'm like, I don't know nobody at CNN. Then I get CNN. I'm like, yo, I just killed CNN. You ain't in Huffington Post yet. and the whole time, like, you're thinking, like, yo, like, is nothing good enough for him? But he was like, there's a level you ain't hit yet. Like, you here and that's dope, but like, there's no ceiling. And to me, that push, like, meant everything, He was like, oh, just one best-selling book. 21 later, he's like, that's not bad. That's cool. You know what I mean? So that part I've come to almost hear it and hear and hear, but I miss hearing it out there. You know what I mean?
Right.
But no, he
right.
wasn't playing at all, man. Bessie said he wasn't playing. No, bro wasn't playing at all.
So there's still one place that you told us that you wanted a headline.
Okay. We ain't but 23 minutes into this, but fine, no problem. So I am what people would call a type A classic overachiever. So I've done absolutely everything on my bucket list except for I have not played Madison Square Garden, headline Madison Square Garden before my 50th birthday. And so I've got 3 years, 2 months, and 13 days to do it. So yeah,
You
before
have a
November
target date.
19th. Yeah, no, yeah, before November 19th, 2027, I'll headline Madison Square Garden. It's done. Either that or I'm dead. That's it, you know. And I felt like I was really close right before COVID because I rented the Apollo Theater for my BullyCon conference, which is for um entrepreneurs to like get actual information. We don't have no strippers. We ain't got no rappers with fake checks. No satin pajamas. None of that. Just facts, business, inspiration, tactical information. And so I rented the Apollo Theater and I had booked it for April 19th. I'm sorry, August 19th, 2020. Obviously I got my money back, but yeah, I was like, if I do the Apollo, MSG baby, yeah. So
Hmm.
you know, we still got plenty of time. I'm excited about it. And yes, R and I, Anna, the 13 days, absolutely, got to count that. Got to count the 13.
Facts. Man, that's a tremendous amount of work and like I would say vision. You have to like map and see like you how can I put it? There was this article put out about Amazon and how they can forecast projected sales and what they'll make in 5 years from now, right?
Sure.
And I was thinking that, and what you're saying is like you have a amount of vision to where you project what will happen. So you're speaking
Mhm.
to existence to make it happen to existence.
Yeah, but
I,
not just that, Ryan. It's also like the one thing that I spend a lot of time studying is humanity, right? If you understand
mm-hmm,
how somebody is going to think, you don't have to worry about what they're going to do, right?
mm-hmm.
If the biggest thing that America became a superpower on?
What?
Laziness. Laziness. People did not want to build houses, farm their land, so they got a whole bunch of other people to do it for free, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then people wanted to shop, but they wanted to shop more, but nobody wanted to walk up steps, so they put elevators and escalators in there, right? People don't like chopping vegetables, so you can go to the grocery store right now, somebody already got them chopped. This When you understand that this country and this corporation called the United States is built off of other people not wanting to do things, all you got to do is be willing to do just a little bit more than everybody else, right? The problem with me is I'm willing to do everything, like
Mm-hmm.
everything, and I'm willing to die to do what most people aren't willing to do because I don't want to ever have anybody to have so much control over my life ever again where they can I have to ask you permission, bro. It's 2009 and I'm sitting just outside of the American Airlines Center in a cigar bar with Mark Cuban. And he
Mm-hmm.
said, if this, because at the time I was producing Rickey Smiley Show, we put him in syndication. He said, if this blows up, if you walk away from this, what's next? I said, I'll probably go back to school. There's some things in tech I want to learn and da 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 da. He was like, don't ever do that. And I said, what do you mean? He's like, how much more education do you need? He said, if you're going to go get an education, go someplace, take a job that's beneath you that'll pay you to learn the thing that you want to learn and then bounce out of it. And so that's what I started doing. I would literally go and take gigs to learn the thing that I want to learn. I wanted to learn SaaS, which is software as a service, so that I can start working on my own software, understanding the ins and outs of it, right? And
Mm-hmm.
so I'm selling this software as a service to other people on the phone, 100 phone calls a day. And I get up, and there was a woman named Linda, and I'll never forget Linda. Linda was this tall blonde, and she just go, she played with her hair and start giggling. And she said, Dave, you're taking a lot of bio breaks. I said, I'm sorry, Linda, what is a bio break? Well, we track how many times you get up to go to the bathroom. I said, you're tracking how many times I take a piss, Linda? I'm like, do you have any idea how many HIPAA laws you're violating right now? And she was like, huh? I'm like, who the hell? I said, if you ever come to me about how many times I have to go to the bathroom, which is between me and my doctor, you and I are going to have a problem. And I imagine, you and Brian, the guy who owns this company, are really going to have a problem when I wind up owning it, right? Because that's a lawsuit. And it taught me that they will try to maximize as much as they can possibly get out of you, right down to how long you're spending in the bathroom, or how many times you get up to go to the bathroom, or how many times you take coffee breaks, right? Like, yo, if you got a family emergency, you got to step off the floor to make a phone call, that's a problem. So I will never enslave myself by working for somebody like that. I'll do partnerships, I
Mm-hmm.
might do an affiliate deal, but I'm never going, you'll never hear anybody say I'm their employee ever. I feel like it's tantamount to slavery. That's me. I'm not knocking anybody who gets up and works for a living. I think it's honest. I love it. God bless you. But for the way that this crazy mind works, yeah, nah, never again. I can't. Mm-mm. And so I'm insane with that possibility. The possibility of me having to go work for somebody else. Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
Now, do you develop that mindset early on when you were younger? Because you said you worked in the entertainment industry and stuff.
Yeah. Um, to a certain extent, right? So my dad was a cop, but my dad bought a corner store in the hood. My mom was a teacher, but my mom also, at one point ran the largest salon in Philadelphia, left there, started her own salon, right? You ever go into a woman's salon and you see like the TVs on the wall and like they got like the wine and the cheese tray and it's nice. You got the magazines laid out on the big comfy couches. Yeah, my mom was doing that in the 70s. Right, but she didn't know how to monetize it. She didn't realize like that was a whole funnel or a system by which she could attract more clients. She was just doing what she felt would be good for the customer.
Mm-hmm.
So, like the creativity and the ingenuity part was there. The hard work part was there, and even to a certain extent, the entrepreneurial part was there. But I think, with very few exceptions, I'm the only real full time entrepreneur in my family outside of my house. Right, like my daughter's a full time photographer. My wife writes children's books, stuff like that. Like my nephew teaches kids how to sell on eBay, but like full time doing it, not worrying it, owning multiple businesses. Like I think your job as a child is to take what you've learned from your parents, your aunts, your uncles, your grandparents, and then take all the good stuff, throw away the
Mm-hmm.
bad stuff, and then make something even different. So if you're giving me a rotisserie chicken, I'm giving you chicken salad, stewed chicken, you know, chicken curry, tikka masala, the whole nine. I'm giving you
Mm-hmm.
absolutely everything off that chicken. And then when I'm done with that, bone broth, bitches. So, like, I think you're supposed to expand what they've laid out for you. So, was it in me? Yes. But did I have to put my own stamp on it? Yeah. And that took time, and it's still taking time because I'm very. I'm trying to say this in the nicest way to myself so it doesn't sound self-deprecating. I'm never satisfied with anything. Like my wife would
Mm.
say, Dave is the type of dude, he'll climb a mountain and then stand on the mountain, plant the flag and be like, "Oh, y'all see that mountain over there? All right, bye." And like slide down the mountain and start climbing a bigger one. Because I've learned that how like you say, "Hey, if I could just make 100 grand, right? If I could just make 100 grand, all my problems are solved." Then you make 100 grand and you realize, if I could just make 250, then all my problems. What I found is, even as an entrepreneur, there's never a final level. Like, you ever play Super Mario Brothers when you were a kid? And
Yeah.
you go and
Yeah.
and then you beat the dude and you're like, "Oh yeah, I just killed Koopa." And the chick looked just like the princess. I don't know if she's in a princess drag show. I don't know who this broad is. I don't know why she dressed like the princess. It's all weird to me. But she says, "I'm sorry, Mario, your princess is in another castle." So it's like, shoot, I got to go to that castle. So for me, I'm trying to temper that gotta kill everything with, you know, it's okay to stop and smell the roses, which is why I read comic books. It's why I love professional wrestling, because it allows my mind to just kind of simmer down and normalize for a bit.
Mm-hmm.
But there's this thing inside of me. It's like a monster, and it's like constantly hungry for the next thing, the next evolution. Like, once I beat everything, I had this conversation, and I told more. I said, listen, every critique of me is only about my weight. It's not about my intelligence. It's not about my success or lack thereof. It's only about my weight. So the second I drop all this weight and I get to an acceptable size where I can go into Target and not have to look for, the big man section that never has a 5 or 6 or 7X in it,
Mm-hmm.
then I'll be perfect. And when she got up off the floor laughing at me, she's like, they still gonna find something to say. And sure enough, they do. But at this point, bro, I can't hear you. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm so happy. My happiness drowns out to the fact that you're miserable trying to compete with me, and I don't even know you. You
Mm-hmm.
understand? Like, I'm so excited to get up every morning and make coffee, take out the trash, play with the dogs, and then hear my 9-year-old say, "Daddy," and then come tackle me. Your opinion of me is about as useful as my last bowel movement to me. Like, I literally need you to understand that the effort you're putting in to hurt me, I don't feel it. I want you to live the best possible life you can. You know, I don't have no ill will towards anybody, but if you're in a competition with me, I didn't sign up for it, and you really don't want it because I don't see you where I am. You understand what I'm saying? And like, that's the thing. I no longer live to compete. I live to
Mm-hmm.
be the best version of me. I'm competing with the version of me that existed in 2020. I'm competing with that guy, right? I'm competing with the guy who was 561 pounds and still killing everything. Like, I'm competing with that guy. I'm competing with the guy who says, okay, 16,000 steps a day isn't enough. Like, how far can we push this, right? Unfortunately, my knees are like, you really shouldn't need me doing 16,000. 10 is enough. Like, I'm going to need you to slow down. And I'm like, I don't care what you say, knee. Suck it up.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, man, like I'm too busy being happy. Not to mention, bro, I'm pushing 50. I gotta get to MSG. I can't do that worrying about some numbnuts on Instagram.
So we've hit our halfway point, and right around this time, exactly, we like to take a little water break,
Mm-hmm.
take your sip, and then we just throw out a little promo. So again, every Sunday night, join our sister chat, Talk Barry to Me, with our friend VSG Bestie. She goes live every Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern. And then every Taco Tuesday, the boys from BME are live at 8 p.m. Eastern. Don't forget that we are going to bariatric retreat in November. That's November 7th to the 10th. We will be live for a live male show on the men's panel for that Saturday of bariatric retreat. Make sure that you put in code BME10 and you get $25 off your ticket for the whole event. And don't forget that I forgot what I was gonna say, Ryan.
Don't worry. I'll pick it up from there. So we
Oh, I
we
know what it
do.
was.
Well,
I was gonna say, don't forget that every first Monday of the month we are live with the men's mental health shop talk, and we have a new subject every month that we like to throw out there and have men join us for a half hour on TikTok just to kind of get the conversation going, and then we go to a private Zoom chat where men can go into a deeper conversation and get on a real level with other men to relate and to be able to share things that without the noise of TikTok and without comments or any of that stuff. And just remember that what happens in that live stays within that live and is not shared outside of that space.
very true. No. So Dave,
Yes,
I
sir.
wanted to ask you, when you are in the position you are in life and you
Hmm.
find yourself happy, you have the success, but you still have a hunger for more. What is that hunger for more a representation of when it comes to happiness? Are you
Wow.
ever content?
Sure. Every day I wake up, bro, like I'm happy I woke up.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like I don't have that CPAP machine,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Mm-hmm.
I got a 42-inch waist. You know, I losing weight has reintroduced me to three friends I hadn't seen in 40 years. You know, you know, Big Jim and
Fair
the
enough.
twins are in the building. But no, in all seriousness, yes, I'm happy, but I am extremely looking for. How can I put this? I feel like there's certain things biblically that apply to business that most people don't pay attention to. And one of them is a man should not be, and I'm paraphrasing. So don't, all you so-called Bible scholars, like, you shouldn't be happy or you shouldn't be satisfied unless you have built up an inheritance that your children's children's children can't spend. And For me, not that I'm trying to build the Duckburg Scrooge McDuck money bin, but I want to make sure that, you know, my great 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 grandchildren will have something to move on, right? I don't have to explain to you what Disney is. I don't have to explain to you what Hilton is, right? I don't have to
Hmm.
explain to you what Walmart is. Like, you already know. Like, those are families before they're brands. And I'm looking to make sure that whatever they want to do, right, whether I agree with it or not, and I'm going to be dead and gone, I've paved the way to make it better for them, but I've also instilled in them an ethic that, you know, will far outlive me. You know,
Hmm.
that to me is that. But yeah, like, bro, Ryan, let me put it to you very honestly. At one particular point in my life, I was homeless. Nobody was answering my calls. If you've ever lived in Texas or been to Texas, there's a place called Quick Trip. I
Yeah.
washed up in that Quick Trip on the corner of 360 and 360 and Carrier in Arlington, Texas, just a stone's throw from AT&T Stadium where the Cowboys play. And I have never been that low before, and I ain't been that low since. So anything you throw at me, I'm already playing at an advantage because I'm never washing my nuts in the gas station sink again. I actually went back to that gas station, and I had seen some of the workers and like, yo, what's with the camera crew? Because I'm shooting a documentary about my life, and I was like, yeah, I said, you know that bathroom right there? Like, yeah, I said, I used to wash up in that bathroom. I was homeless, and this is where I would wash myself. And dude was like, and I'm like, oh
Oh
yeah,
wow.
yeah, because he's like, yo, you know that water doesn't. I know it doesn't get hot. Y'all still ain't fixed that, huh? Like, you know. And when I went, I sat in the parking lot for like 10 minutes, and then like I just started crying, just from, see, there you go, there's the cry. I just started crying from the fact that, you know, I remember what it was like and how hopeless I felt and how alone I felt and how lonely I was and how abandoned I felt for all that work. I like, when you make people millions of dollars and you're washing up in a gas station sink, the actual, like, the mind effing, I'm trying to keep it clean for your show, the mind effing you go through is the equivalent of like 10 Diddy freak offs, because you're like, this is insane. How did I get here? I'm not supposed to be here. I'm brilliant. They wrong.
Hmm.
You know, so I don't ever want to be in that place. Like, it took a lot of therapy just to get into a place where, because I was homeless for a very long time, I would say for probably 5 years after that, there was always a duffel bag in any car that I owned, which had toiletries, which had wipes, which had non-perishable food items, which had a pair of sneakers, two pairs of jeans, two pairs of sweats, five pairs of underwear, five undershirts, you know, five t-shirts, and two hoodies at all times. And so my wife come to me one day and she was like, yo, I said, yeah. She was like, what's this? And I said, yo, why did you touch that? She's like, why do you have a bag in the back? I'm like, no, that stays in the back. And she's like, why? I'm like, it just needs to stay there. Don't bother it. Go, just please put it back. The whole time, all I'm doing is screaming through trauma, screaming through trauma, screaming through trauma. Put it back, put it back, put it back. I need that bag. It needs to stay
Hmm.
there. I need to know that it's there. Right? And she was like, okay, listen, why, Negro? Like, why? And I'm like,
Hmm.
in case you, just like everybody else who said they love me, decides to abandon me, at least I'll have, you know, a couple hoodies, five undershirts, five t-shirts, two pairs of sweats, two pairs of jeans, socks, couple pairs of sneakers, toiletries, wipes, the whole nine. That way, at least I'll have something so that I don't have to scramble for it if this rug ever gets pulled out from under me. And she looked at me, and I keep in mind, I'm like a foot and a couple of inches taller than my wife. And she takes her hands and she puts them on my face, and she looks up at me, and she was like, if you don't take that bag and unpack it before I kill you. I was like, you know, and I unpacked it, and I've never had a jump bag since. You know,
Wow.
and like, but bro, you ever been homeless?
I've been close.
No, I've been close.
Bro, do you know what it's like to do you know what it's like to be homeless, your first day of homelessness, and you got $150 haircut?
Mm.
You can't put up no sign and they be like, we'll work for food. And you 500 pounds, you ain't getting no donations. So
Yeah.
homelessness for me was extremely rough. I don't, 0 out of 10 don't recommend. So it was a lot to unpack. But yeah, no, completely good. Love my life. So thrilled.
Beautiful.
Yeah, man.
Because like when I was hearing that story about the bags, right? The keeping that bags, it's like that weighted blanket of security of like,
Mm-hmm.
if everything else fails, I have this.
Yep.
You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
that's that's tough. And like that's a good transition to even the concept of clothes, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
In this process
Oh.
of this journey, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because a lot of times people struggle with the idea of letting go of clothes that they have because the fear that they might get back to that size and might need to wear that. But I remember you were telling me
Mm-hmm.
when I got onto that point, it was the aspect of you got new clothes, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You didn't keep like, did you keep one, two, or nothing?
I have I think I have like one jacket, one
Mhm.
pair of like 64-inch waist jeans, and like one pair of like 6X shorts, Reebok. So they're cut big, so they fit just right on my big wide body, big back ass. But
Mhm.
yeah, no, like I don't have like a section of my closet where it's just like fat clothes just in case. Listen, I love being an extra large. Like anybody's extra large. I love that. I'm not going back. You know, where I made the mistake, and this is the part. Remember, I told you there's something I'm going to tell you that you're going to be really really mad. I probably gave away anywhere between $30,000 and $45,000 worth of clothes,
Mhm.
like Robert Graham, Polo, like Nike stuff. Couldn't do nothing with it. And then, right when my brother died, I was happy because I got my brother's clothes. Now, to understand me and my brothers, to understand that our trauma response to not having a lot when we were kids was buying a lot when we were adults. So, he was poloed down. He had custom polos, like everything. So I was so happy. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna rock all these 2X's in one day. I was like, yo, like, you can't wear that no more. I'm like, yo, this was Aaron's. This is dope. What are you? This is lilac. This is
Mhm.
custom. And she was like, look at you. And I was like, and I realized the shirt's just going, it's just too big. So, I heard my brother tell me like, yo, just idiot, just sell them, and then go buy a smaller size. And I was like, yeah, but I gave away between $30,000 and $45,000 worth of clothes. And then when I got from like the 7 6X to like a 4X, I went to DXL with a bag. And I was like,
Mhm.
give me all your polo 4X, run it. They had so much stuff. They literally, like, there's like 3 or 4 workers in the DXL. 3 of them were shopping for me. I'm like, yeah, no, I want all the 4X. I'm taking pictures and whatnot. Even if you go to my TikTok, I think at the end of like 2022, the first picture before I do like the recap with like the flashing pictures is me in the DXL thinking I'm skinny in a 4X polo sweatsuit, because from a 7X to a 4X, you start thinking you're yummy. I was
Yeah.
like, whoa, stupid. Let me tell you something. If I had to do it all over again, if I could jump in a time machine, the one thing that I would do is be like, hey, dumbass, go to Amazon, go get you some Fruit of the Looms, go get you some sweats. Don't buy anything name brand until you get down to your final size. Yo, I wasted so much money. I'm still mad at myself. The only reason I'm okay with it is because I do have a section of my closet for like regular everyday David Anderson clothes, and then the rest of the closet belongs to the business bully. So those clothes are owned and purchased by the company, and they're on loan to me because I can write them off. Other than that, like if I was just like, a regular Joe doing that, no. But the idea of, hey man, what size you? Oh, I'm a force. Hey bro, I'm gonna send you a care package, and then like homeboys just get like, yo Dave, you sent me like 2 big things of Oh, thanks for the cowboy hat. I don't even know what that means, but that's cool. Thanks. Just getting big bags of clothes, that I can't fit. Like, yo, you know how much this stuff cost? Yes, I do. I bought it all. Yes, I do. Stupid. Until you get down to your goal weight, do not go shopping like that. Please don't. Please. You're wasting your money and you're going to be mad in a month.
Mhm.
Every month I was dropping a size. Just mad, bro.
So
Yeah, man.
part of your journey, I know that you talked about like getting down to the final size. I know that we talked about the whole body dysmorphia thing,
Oh yeah,
and you also ended up having a tummy tuck,
sure
which goes
did.
along with it. So
Sure did. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. That thing tucked. That tummy is tucked, bro. Yeah, no. Yes, I did. Go ahead, proceed.
So, what were the challenges from that tummy tuck?
Okay, first of all, it hurt. Okay, now for you ladies who get nipped and tucked in BBL, God bless you. It hurts. And for me, like the drains were like the most annoying part because they stitched the drain. Like they leave it in you, then there's like a little hole on the outside, and they stitch that to your skin and whatnot. So you got to watch how you move, and then you got to clip them on to the garments and all. That was the whole thing. And then the lymphatic massage was crazy, but very, very helpful. And then the other part of that is I wanted it one hitter quitter, like do my stomach, do my chest, do my thighs, like all that. They was like, no, we can do the stomach, we can do the chest. Can't do the thighs. And I'm like, huh? So like I'm a 10 in the face, slim in the waist, thick in the thighs. So I'm basically a bad bitch. But what
It's still funny this time.
it's always gonna be fun. But no, like for me, like I gotta go back and get I gotta get my thighs cut. And then when I do that, it's definitely over for you bitches. I just wanna let you know. But yeah, I was so scared of getting the tummy tuck, but I had to. Like I had so much skin, bro. They literally took off 12 and a half pounds of stomach skin, right? And the doctor actually videotaped it. He put his size 12 shoe next to one flap of the skin he took off. And he put it next to the other flap, and he had a ruler. And the ruler looked like it looked like the size of this rolled up dollar bill. It looked that tiny against this landmass of Dave Anderson skin, that went to some burn victims, and God bless them. They can make some grafts out of it. But once I got past that, like that first week was hell. After that first week, man, I was good. The only thing was I just wanted to get them drains out. Once I got those drains out, man, listen, it's a beautiful thing. But even with that, like I've lost more weight. So like, am I going to get another tuck? Probably not, because the amount of loose skin I have now is about like that much. But oh yeah, these thighs, they're getting chopped, bro. Oh, they getting chopped. I'm telling you, I'm flappity flap. They're going, because people don't realize when you stretch your skin with 561 pounds of gelatinous goo made up of cheesesteaks, chicken wings, Jello shots, Hennessy bombs, and beer. Yeah, no, there ain't much snapback. No, first of all, these are not thunder thighs. These are hurricane limbs. Okay, hurricane limbs. These ain't no thunder thighs. These things thick, right? So yeah, man, I recommend people like, oh, plastics. You shouldn't get that if you're. I'm a grown ass man. I highly recommend plastics. I highly recommend you find yourself a surgeon who is board certified and has some years on them. And please be careful, because a lot of these people will get a certificate and call themselves a plastic surgeon, and they ain't. You need to find somebody board certified who isn't going to do no craziness and is going to make you look good. Like, I don't even have a scar. Like, that's how good my man's was, So yeah, plastics, 37 out of 10. Highly recommend. Like, immediately.
I feel you on that.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Nah, because I know for me, I want to get my chest done and then my stomach, because I feel like I got like a good 30 pounds of skin just carried on me.
Yeah.
And you never think like, Dag, like you lost, like I remember in the beginning, like I'd be like, Dag, I still see the fat man because I have this loose skin, but then I see my before pictures and be like, oh, but I was a fat man at that time.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, and by the way, just so y'all know, insurance 9 times out of 10 will deny it. You might find an insurance holder that will, but they're going to send you to Dr. Frankenstein. They're going to send you to a guy who's literally going to give you a paniculectomy. And what that is they're just going to take the loose skin, they're going to cut it off, they're going to sew you up, and 9 times out of 10, they will not give you a belly button, which, unless you're trying to do a reboot of I Dream of Jeannie, is really weird, right? So I made the money And I went and paid for it, and it was not cheap. And I know like some of y'all just think I'm balling out the gym, but I promise you I'm not. We running neck and neck regardless of what you see in Forbes. And I'm telling you, whoa, was it worth it? Yeah, because the things that I'm able to do from a workout standpoint now, baby, listen, Linda, chef's kiss. Yeah, no, but yeah, Ryan, when you get that skin surgery, bro, and depending on how your doctor does it, because the doctor might just say, okay, we're just going to lipo out what's happening and make a small little cut, or they might just do the underground smiles up under your chest. It just depends, or they might just go and take the areola off, set it to the side, suck everything out, stitch everything up, and then that's where your scar is. I got they just lipoed my chest here and here. I got what The Rock got. Because they just they lipoed him for gynecomastia, right? That's why you don't see any scars on The Rock, right? Then they give you silicone scar gel. That stuff is nectar, bro. I have no scars, none. I have a tattoo here, but that's nowhere near where the incision points were. So it was yeah, no, do it. It's worth it. If I don't go on another vacation for the next 5 years, worth it. I'm vacationing in this new ass body. Okay. Okay. How much have you lost now, Ryan?
I've lost over 438 now. Yeah, 438 pounds.
You're the only person who's lost. I know who's lost more than me. I lost 312. I thought I was sexy. I hate you. I can't compete with that. You got me by a little bit. You got me by 100 and some change. But what's your goal weight?
So my goal weight is 326 to 293.
And when you get to 293, you're gonna be like, I want to get to 248.
Well, that's the thing, man. I'm 6'8". Like,
God damn.
Like I'm not a little kid. Like I'm not.
You need to change the name to Towering Inferno, Ryan. You can't fade away nothing other than a jump shot. The hell? What in the name of the Twin Towers is you doing? Like, yo, if Godzilla starts running, they just gonna send Ryan out. Boom! Like the hell is? I'm 6'8". Yeah, Jesus. Damn.
Yeah, man, like that's why I said like my weight. I mean, for my size, my weight is pretty proportionate to my height.
Yeah. Nah, man, let me tell you something. And I thought all my problems were going to be solved too, because now, like, I've never had to buy an extra seat, but I would like flow over, like I had what was called the flap. Like I could hide my whole iPhone under the stomach flap. I don't have no stomach flap no more. But now, like, I still can't sit in a coach seat on a plane because I'm tall. I'm like 6'2". So like I can't. You know what I'm saying? So it's like once you get past the big, the tall is still there. So it's like no matter what, we still awkward. It's like,
it's
bro.
weird. Yeah.
It's like I done lost all this weight and it still don't fit. You're really tall. And I'm like, no, Dikembe Mutombo is tall. Shaq is tall. Like, I'm not a short king, but like I don't feel like, you know what I'm saying? I didn't realize that over 6 feet was tall until I found out that like only 4% of the American population is over 6 feet.
Yeah.
I did not realize that that's what would like that was the big deal. You know, you hear all these people on these shows. Like, I need man to be over 6 feet. I'm like, what? You're 5'2". Like if he's 5'5", you're winning. You greedy broad. Like what's wrong with you? Like damn. But nah, bro. Like, bro, I swear to God. Like you looking for a security job? Let me know.
Nice. That'd be funny.
Hell yeah, man.
So we are running up the time right now. So we'd just like to really thank you, Dave, for joining us and sharing your story and dropping all those gems for us. The mindset is just amazing, and drive is amazing.
Listen, I want y'all to understand, like, I'm not great at everything, and what you guys are doing is something that I can't do. I don't know how to deliver to the bariatric community in a way that they'll receive it. And so I'm very, very thankful for what you guys are doing for people in this space, because a lot of men, like we get told everything, like a woman getting surgery. I'm not saying it doesn't happen amongst women, so ladies, please don't hit me. But what I am saying is when a man gets surgery, it's like there's all of this stigma that comes with it. And what people don't realize is, like, you ever heard We Are the World? It's a choice we're making. We're saving our own lives, you know? And what you guys are doing is demystifying what it means to be, you know, a bariatric patient, and also saying and showing people that lifestyle, and putting yourself out in panels and all those things. I honestly, you know, if I had a hat right now, I tip it to you. Like, I want to thank you for what you're doing in this community, and I don't want
Appreciate
you
it,
guys
man.
to stop. I don't want you guys to feel like it's for nothing. Like, I guarantee you, in 5 years, you guys will dominate the male bariatric space. You know, so I'm so proud of you, and
I appreciate that.
I'm so thankful, like, for you guys to allowing me to be me, you know, and I'm so thankful to everybody in the audience for, you know, for tuning in and letting me speak my truth. I got to get ready to run. I got to do a spot on Sirius XM after this, but I just wanted to tell you, as one person in this community who um, didn't have a whole lot of people to turn to when I got into this. I'm happy that you guys are here, because there's people who are on the fence. There are people who just got their surgery who need what you guys have. So I'm grateful. So thank you for the time, and thank you for this platform.
Thank you. We
Man,
appreciate
no
it.
problem, man. We appreciate you. I'm glad that you have the ability to be visible. Like I
Yeah.
always tell everybody, I want your story to be visible, because every individual has the ability to have a story. It's the message that comes with your story that becomes important to people.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
have an
man.
important message, so I thank you for
No, man. I listen. I love you guys. You guys are great. But no, man, like,
that.
this is, it's only up from here. I'm so grateful, and thank you to everybody in the audience. Hopefully you guys follow me. I'm on everything at the Business Bully. If you got a business, you want some help, feel free to reach out to me. You know, I'm just here to help. That's all I want to do. Want nothing else from you, just to be able to help you. Because listen, I needed a lot of help to get to this point, and I still do. So again, thank you guys for your time. I really got to run, but I love you guys, and thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you so much for this.
Oh,
I
no
hope that it
problem.
reaches the right people.
Oh,
All
no
right.
problem. Love you too, bro.
See you soon. Love you
Thank
guys.
you.
Uh,
Hmm.
See you.